All right, looks like we're live. Good evening. It's late. We will not be here long tonight, honey. It is late. It is 9:50 where I am, and I'm usually in the bed at this time, but I'm trying to keep my consistency, and I said I was going to go live 3 times this week. So that's why I'm here. We were on Monday for about an hour. We were on Monday for about an hour, so hopefully we won't be that long. But if we are, we are. Whatever, it's fine. Tonight's topic, the topic for this video, is the most expensive mistake, the most expensive hair mistake that women make. The most expensive hair mistake women make, and it's not products. Okay, it is not products. So we're going to get into some pretty unspoken things that most people don't talk about when it comes to hair loss. Okay, these are the parts that nobody really covers or really talks about when it comes to. Let me adjust my camera. I feel like. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, so let's get into it. I'm excited. I got my notes here, and we are just going to get into it. Let me move my screen. So I have like 3 screens that I look at while I'm online, and I just wanted to make sure we are good. Okay, cool. So we are talking about the most expensive mistake, the most expensive hair mistake women make. Most expensive hair mistake women make. Now, I don't think the most expensive hair mistake that women make is buying an expensive product. Okay. I don't think that the biggest mistake is buying an expensive product. I think the most expensive mistake is buying before understanding what your hair needs. Okay. Buying products before understanding your scalp, before understanding your hair, before understanding your porosity, before understanding your strand structure, the density of your hair, your curl pattern, the issues that you've been experiencing. Buying products before understanding what's actually going on. Okay. The most expensive mistake is being confused. Okay, let's call it what it is. The most expensive mistake is being confused, because you don't just spend money, you spend time, you spend hope, you spend your emotional energy, which is very expensive. My emotional energy is very expensive. How about yours? You spend months, sometimes years, trying to fix a problem that you haven't actually identified. You buy product A, you buy product B, you buy product C. Then you convince yourself, maybe I just haven't found the right one yet. Okay? So I want to flip that a little bit, because the problem may not be that you haven't found the right product. Okay? The problem is just that we've been asking, or you've been asking the wrong question, or not asking questions at all. Okay, instead of the what product should I use, we need to know what you're actually dealing with. Okay, what are you actually dealing with? Because the right solution depends on the right problem. What's the right shampoo? What's the right conditioner? What's the right whatever? It depends on knowing what the problem is, the right problem. Okay, dry scalp and product buildup are not the same thing. Breakage and shedding are not the same thing. Stress-related thinning and traction alopecia, not the same thing. Now, these things may look different on the surface. They may look the same on the surface. They may show up in similar patterns or similar symptoms, okay? But they are not the same. But many of us use the exact same products, hoping for completely different outcomes. All right? So, if you're new here, welcome. First of all, I'm glad that you're watching. If you're not new, if you're back, welcome back. My name is Kendra, and I teach women over 40 a more holistic approach to hair health, where we first understand the hair by understanding the body. Okay, because your hair is connected to more than just the products that you use. And together we learn to connect the dots between what you're seeing, what it might mean in your body, and how to respond so you can start seeing results. Okay, so if you're ready to go deeper in your hair health journey, be sure to subscribe because every week, ladies, every week we take another step forward into understanding your hair instead of guessing. Okay, now I want to talk really quickly about something that I've noticed. Okay, I think there are two ways that people change. Okay, the first way is through curiosity. All right, something inside you says, I wonder if there's another way. You start to read, you start to explore, you start to ask questions, you start to watch videos. Um, the old answers just don't satisfy you anymore, so you start looking. Okay, uh, that's the first way. We get curious, we want to know more, we start doing the little things, little research, little this, little that, right? The second way I believe that people change is through necessity. Life interrupts. Okay? The marriage falls apart. The diagnosis comes. The medication stops working. You have to switch medications. The anxiety, the depression becomes unbearable. And your hair still is falling out. You have fatigue that won't go away. You have stress that keeps showing its ugly head. And the thing that you've always done no longer produces the same result. Okay? And in these instances, the question suddenly becomes, what else is there? Because sometimes you're curious about hair care or hair growth, right? Sometimes you're curious. You want to know like some little different things you can do. But then sometimes life happens. And firsthand experience here of life happening, okay, in ways that affected my hair that no product alone could fix. Okay? So the products, the beliefs, the routines that always held you or always helped you or always worked for you no longer have power for this new experience. Okay? Holistic hair health, which is what I teach, provides language for what you might be experiencing beyond products. Okay? Most of the time, women are okay with asking, what product should I use? Why? Because the question preserves the assumption that the problem is external, the solution is external. Somebody else knows what to do and they can tell me what to do. I don't have to change. Right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way certain people are. They just want you to tell them what to do because they don't want to have to change anything else. But when life happens and the product doesn't work and the next product doesn't work and the medication has side effects and the hair loss is getting worse and the energy is declining, the lab work comes back abnormal. The body stops cooperating with these assumptions that we have that things on the outside can fix something that's going on the inside that's affecting our hair. So eventually we arrive at a different question like, what is my body trying to tell me? Okay? And this is why I've stayed committed to teaching this deeper work lately, because I didn't start here. I didn't start this channel or my business teaching the deeper work. I started this channel and my business on the surface level fixes, on the external fixes, on the, this is the product, this is the supplement, this is the herb, this is the ingredient. I started on that level. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Some people just need that. Okay. So I've stayed committed over the last 2 years probably to doing the deeper teaching. Because one thing I've learned is once we get to a certain age, those surface level things, they don't do it. We need more. We need more than the surface level stuff. Okay. The deeper work, I love to teach it, but it's not the easiest thing to market. It's not the easiest thing to get women to buy in on. Okay. It's not easy because most people, you can't argue them into a mindset shift. You can't convince them into a mindset shift. I can explain it beautifully. I can provide the science. I can give you all the nerdy details. I can connect the dots. I can repeat myself 100 times. But for some, I noticed that until life creates enough friction, many times we are just not ready for that level of truth. And that's not judgment. It's just timing. It's just timing. Okay. So one of the most compassionate things I do for women is to understand them, because I recognize myself in a lot of these women. Okay. Over time, and I've seen it happen, eventually, even if it's little by little, more women will reach the point where the old explanations stop working. The old solutions stop working. And because of that, they'll become more available to a new type of conversation. Okay. So, this is what I've been witnessing for the last 10 years. And honestly, it's more than just an observation about my business. It's an observation about human nature. Okay. Most of us don't change because we're told to. Most of us, we're hard-headed. We want to do things our way. And most of the time we want to do things the easy way. We change because life is a wise teacher. Okay. And eventually, ignoring the root or the problem, it reveals itself to us. Okay. When we're ignoring the problem, the underlying issue, that gets revealed to us. Okay. So, like I said, I've walked this road too. All right. You're not crazy. You're not lazy. It just takes you to get to a certain point to decide you want to do something different. And then that's when we do the deeper work. Okay. Because hair health is layered. Hair health is not always one thing. Sometimes it is. But again, as we get older, it's multiple things. I recently had a woman ask me for a solution to a medical issue, and she just wanted a product. And again, perfect example, you know, I don't like to push people to tell me about their medical situations or their medical history, because it's not really my business to do that. But my job is to help you understand the connection. So if someone tells me they're dealing or taking a certain medication or dealing with a certain internal issue, we have to be realistic about how much an external product can help. An external product can only do so much. Okay? Herbal ingredient can only do so much. Right? So in my study of naturopathic herbalism, we always take a food first approach. I'm just throwing this out there. A food first approach means we start with the body, regardless of what ailment you're trying to fix or deal with. We start with the food. We start with the body, okay, because that's the source of everything. So just because we're talking about hair health, this still applies. Okay. This still applies. So, even though what I teach is not widely understood, okay, it's not widely something that you see on, you know, hair health or hair care channels, I can't go back to teaching any other way. Yes, nutrition is so important. It's important because it's a necessity for the body that you live in. Okay? Your hair is a part of that body. It's not separate from it. Your hair is not separate from the body that needs to be operating at optimal levels so that you can see the hair health or the hair growth or whatever your hair goals are that you want. It starts inside. Remember, products are just support. Products are just support, okay? The source has to start with you, okay? Understanding that the foods that you eat, what you consume or what you don't consume, is probably the most important thing um, in your hair care journey. It feels like something crawling on me. In your hair care journey, okay? Nutrition, what you eat, and not just what you eat. So when I talk about nutrition, it's nutrients, which is, of course, food, vitamins, minerals, those types of things. And it's also hydration, okay, and circulation, moving your body. I consider um, circulation and moving your body a part of nutrition because it's how we nourish the body. We nourish the body through movement, right? We nourish the body through exercise. That's part of your body's nourishment. So we don't just focus on the food. If you are someone that's able to get into a gym, get into a sauna, go outside, get some sun, get some steps in. I'm not saying you do that to make your hair grow. I'm saying do that because your body needs that. And your body is where your hair grows from. So do you see the connection there? Like, it's a real connection. Okay? So moving on. I always say that, or one of the analogies that I like to use when I talk about hair health is the check engine light on your car, right? So imagine seeing that light come on and deciding that instead of dealing with the light, you decide to repaint the car. Okay? You go get your car painted. And then you look at your dashboard, check engine light is still on. So then you go get some new seat covers. Check engine light is still on. And now you go get a new steering wheel, new set of tires. Check engine light is still on. Now, it's not that your car probably didn't need new tires, probably needed some new seat covers, probably needed a paint job. But that was not the problem, okay? If you never open the hood of the car or never go get that check engine light checked, you are not addressing the problem. Okay? It's not solving the problem. And this is similar to hair health because this is where the product hopping comes in. Okay? Product hopping is the product chasing cycle. We buy, try, fail, repeat. And we do this because we are not sure of what the actual problem is. Okay? When companies market to us, they don't market to us to teach us how to buy products. They market to us to tell us that their product is a solution. Okay? Their product is the solution. So we have to be wise and discerning when buying stuff. Okay? We can step out of the hair health realm for a minute. Be discerning when buying stuff. Okay? Know that the job of companies that market to you is to get you to buy. That's it. They want you to spend your money. They're going to do that by appealing to your emotions, by appealing to your problem, by appealing to you not even knowing if that's what you need. They just want you to spend your money. My part of what I do is help you to understand your hair by first understanding your body. Okay? So you cannot be sold anything. You understand what it is you need. Okay? If your car needs a new set of tires and you take it to the tire shop and they tell you, "Oh, we got these oh, we got these brakes on sale this week. You can get them for half off. You can get them today for half off, like right now." You came in for tires, but they're trying to sell you on something that you do not need. And they're good. Like they're good at selling you the brakes. You're about to buy them, but you don't need that. That's the job of marketing. That's the job of companies wanting you to just buy based on you not knowing whether or not you need the product. You go into a tire shop, you know you don't need no brakes. You know you need tires. But you get sold on brakes because you allowed somebody to finesse to finesse you, right? And I know I'm joking about that. I'm trying to make a heavy situation light by using humor because I know I've been doing this for over 10 years that a lot of women's frustration is not necessarily that they're spending money, is not necessarily that they're not buying what they need, is that they don't know. They don't know what they need. Okay? Because many times when you know what you need, you buy as much as you want. You know what you need, you know what you like, you buy as much as you want of it, right? So it should be the same when it comes to your hair. Okay? So what do you do instead? I'm talking a lot about what you shouldn't do. How people are trying to get over. What should you do instead? All right? So you start paying attention before you start purchasing. Ask yourself a few questions, right? Because sometimes it seems like hair loss and hair issues show up out of nowhere, okay? Usually that's not the case. It's just that we have not been paying attention, and then by the time we notice it, it's extreme, okay? Or sometimes we do notice those small signals, and we don't do anything about it because we don't consider it extreme. But your body is always communicating, okay? In this instance, we're talking about hair because that's what I love to talk about. That's what I know, hair. Okay? So your hair will start to send you messages regarding what's going on inside your body. Okay? Now, so ask yourself these questions. Did it happen suddenly or gradually? Okay. Did it start after a major life change, illness, surgery, medication, stressful season? All of these things matter. All of these things can cause hair issues. Okay. When it comes to shedding and breakage, are you seeing broken pieces of hair? Are you seeing long strands with a white bulb at the end? Okay. That's two different things. Is the thinning all over? Is it concentrated? Is it around your edges, crown? Is it your part? Is your scalp comfortable? Is it itching, burning, flaking, or tender? Here's why you need to know that. Another perfect example. If you go to a dermatologist, trichologist, you just going in with your emotional story is not helping. Now, I'm saying this because it's a little frustrating because I know that many times we go in to these medical professionals and not getting the answers and the help that we need. I'm going to challenge you by saying, don't go in with your emotional story. Go in with facts, okay? Listen, this started happening 6 months ago. This is, for example, you walk into your dermatologist or your trichologist, you got hair loss, you got thinning, you got stuff, okay? Don't walk in with your emotional story. Walk in with facts. This started happening about 6 months ago. Okay. I did have a little bit of an illness. It lasted for how many ever weeks or whatever. I was on this specific medication and I was dealing with some stressful stuff on my job. I'm seeing broken pieces of hair and I don't know how to make it stop. Okay. I'm also experiencing some thinning around the edges. I'm also starting to see some thinning in the crown of my head too. My scalp feels okay, but it does itch sometimes. Go in with facts, okay? Go in with facts. Your dermatologist and trichologist does not need to hear how you went through, um, you got fired from your job and whatever. I'm sorry that that happened, but I want you to understand that if you don't go in with facts, you're going to leave with questions unanswered because they're having to guess. If you can't give them solid information, they're having to guess or they're having to go based on what they see. Okay? So go in with facts. Any questions that you have, make sure they get answered before you leave. Okay? They owe you that. If they don't know, they need to tell you, I don't know what this is. Okay? I think that's important. Okay, you don't have to diagnose yourself. You don't have to become an expert overnight. You simply just need to be a student of your own experience. I always say, nobody is in your hair more than you are. Nobody is in your body more than you. Nobody is in your body every day, only you. Okay? So, we just default to what do I need to buy? But I want you to start noticing first. Okay? Just start noticing what exactly is happening. All right? Because observation is the beginning of the answer. You can observe, you can check patterns. I teach pattern recognition. I teach focusing on one thing at a time. Okay? Building your hair routine around the one focus instead of trying to fix everything at once, because you can have multiple issues in your hair, in your scalp, in your, thinning, shedding, dryness. You can have multiple issues. But it's important to learn first to address one problem at a time, because that helps you to focus. It helps you to stay consistent, and it helps you to see what's working and what isn't. If you're using 5 different things to address 7 different problems, you will never really know what's helping and what's hurting. Many times our scalp has allergies. Our scalp is skin. Remember that. Many times your scalp has allergies, or it's sensitive to certain ingredients, or it's sensitive to certain habits, or it needs more of or less of things. You won't know that if you're doing multiple things. Okay. And this is only for my women that feel like they're confused. They don't know which next step to take. Okay. There's women out there, I know that have their routine down pat. They know their shampoos, like all of that, that's fine. But there are also women that I know that need help, that are confused. They don't know where to start. They've bought product after product after product. Nothing's working. Okay. So inside of my workshop, it's called Get Your Hair Together. We do it every other Sunday. Okay. We do it as like a live Zoom call. You come on. It's, I don't do more than 10 women at a time, because I have to make sure that everybody leaves with the answers that they came for. So we focus on, or we take an assessment. That assessment helps you to figure out where you need to focus first. Okay. The assessment is just a way for you to understand where you should start. And then we build a very simple routine that has 3 goals. Okay. So you pick one focus, 3 goals, a simple plan. Simple plan. And you use that to start your progress. Okay. You can come in, you can ask any questions that you want inside of the workshop. Okay. You ask questions, but you have to leave with more understanding. Okay. I teach you how to stop spending money from confusion. I teach you how to stop chasing every product recommendation on the internet, and you will learn that by default. Okay. You'll learn how to respond to your hair instead of reacting to it. So all of my videos on YouTube is going to take you down that path. Whether you take the workshop or not, go to my playlist, look for the playlist with the title of the issue that you're dealing with or the thing that you need help with. Watch those videos. Okay? Because I want you to have clarity before you chase another product. Have awareness before you take action. Products have their place. I make products. It's one of the things I do in my business. I make all natural products. I love products. Products have their place. I will never stop making products because I love the creative process. I love the product development process. I love that. Okay. But products work best when they support your hair. Products are not supposed to do all the heavy lifting for your hair issues. They are just support tools. Okay? So, if you are interested, I have 3 things to offer, and they are linked in the description of this video. So, if you are tired of spending money without feeling more confident about your routine, you can join me this Sunday. So, the next workshop is Sunday. We do them Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I think it's 7 or 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. Inside that workshop, we don't talk about the next miracle product. So if you come in there and you all your question to me is tell me what product to use, you will be disappointed. Okay? You will be disappointed. We talk about how to understand what you're dealing with. You can stop guessing and focus on one thing. The thing that makes sense for your hair, your body, your lifestyle. Many times we have routines that are too complex, that have too many different layers. It's too much. We can't stay consistent. So that's why I do the one focus approach. Now, the workshop is an investment. If you're not ready for that, I also have a Facebook community, a private Facebook group. It's also called Get Your Hair Together. Okay. And it's just a private space. Okay. Where you connect with other women that are either where you are currently or have been where you are currently. You can get in there. You can introduce yourself. You can ask questions. You can respond to some of the content that I post. Every now and then we'll do a challenge. I think some of the challenge stuff is still in the group. So if you want to join that, the link to that is below also. And then the last thing is hair rehab. If you've heard me talk about hair rehab, that's my signature system that I use to help women understand their hair as a whole. Okay. So hair rehab is a 5 focus system. And inside of each of those focuses, we talk about mindset, habits, and nutrition. Okay. So if you're someone that needs clarity, if you're someone that needs help with your scalp, if you're someone that needs help with moisture and strength with your hair, if you're someone that's focused on regrowth, or if you're someone that doesn't need any of that, you just want to know how to properly maintain the hair that you have, there is a focus area for that. Okay. Hair rehab is free to join. The link for that is below. But as you go through each, or as you Lord, I'm sleepy. As you select your main focus area, you will receive weekly communication, emails, resources, tools, courses, products from me that are in line with where you are in the hair rehab system. Okay. So that's 3 things. My workshop, which we do every other Sunday. My private Facebook group, okay, which is you just click the link and you request to join. I think there's like 3 questions you have to answer and you're in. And then hair rehab. Hair rehab is the system that I use to teach or to help guide you through your hair health journey. That was a lot. Okay. Right. So if you are still here and you have not hit the like button, please feel free to do so. If you can send some hearts, some emojis, please feel free to do so. Okay. What else? What else did I have in my notes? I think that was it. If you have any questions, you can also leave that in the comments and I will answer them after the video is over. And I'm just looking through to make sure I didn't miss anything. Thank you so much for those hearts. I appreciate it. And let's see. I think that's it. Thank you so much for the heart. I appreciate it. Okay. So I think that's it. You are so welcome. Um, yeah, we're gonna get out of here. So yes, like I said, the products and offers that I mentioned are in the description box. Be sure to check those out. After the video, we have been on 34 minutes. Okay, cool, perfect. I said I was not gonna stay on an hour this time. 34 minutes is perfect. So again, I appreciate you all for sticking with me this pop-up live. I will be back, I think, on Friday. It's either Friday evening or Saturday morning. I'm not 100% sure. But if you are subscribed, be sure to turn your notification bell on, so you can get notified if these videos are interesting to you and you want to know more about how to understand your hair by understanding your body. Okay? So, as always, remember, understanding your hair is not a luxury, it's your power. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.